Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Chelsea and I am a mother to Rose, who is 18 months old, and in today's video I'm going to be discussing the topic, does motherhood get easier or does parenting get easier? This is part of my series Not All Mums, where I discuss things that I found controversial or difficult whilst navigating this new journey of motherhood. So yeah, does parenting get easier? I feel like one of the statements that I've heard a lot since becoming a mum, when I say, oh, this is difficult, this is hard, like I'm so fed up with this, I'm over this, is it will get easier, it's just a phase. And I mean, when someone's saying how difficult they find something, I think, yeah, it's good to remind them that it's just a season, it's just a phase. But I think first we need to acknowledge that the person's having a difficult time instead of just brushing their emotions off. And I'm not saying this has happened to me, and I'm not. Sometimes people just don't know how to deal with things or what to say, but I'm saying if someone says to you, I'm having a difficult time, I think the right thing to do personally is to acknowledge that they're having a difficult time. What support can you provide them? Whether they just need to vent, and then reminding them that it's just a season. I feel like that should be the last thing that you do, because I feel like if you just say it's just a season, then that invalidates how they're feeling and everything like that. So does it get easier? Does parenting get easier as you go? And I mean, I'm only 18 months into this gig, so I mean, I'm not that experienced. I feel like someone who has been through the whole thing can maybe comment on different seasons, but the only seasons I've gone through so far is newborn, I guess infant. Did I call them an infant when they're not a newborn? And now we're into the toddlerhood stage. I would say it does get easier. Right now, this phase of parenting is easier in some aspects. So for example, we're not breastfeeding every 3 hours or every 2 hours or every hour. Whew. That nearly took me out, I'm not gonna lie. That breastfeeding constantly, like when the milk's coming in and then your breasts are like engorged and it's like spouting everywhere. If you didn't breastfeed, then this is not your journey. However, if I don't know what the same things people do if they're on formula, if the baby's on formula, but nah. So I guess it's easier in that aspect. I only feed once a day. Last night I fed like 5 times though. But on the regular day, I don't feed that much. So I guess the demand on my body is not that much anymore in terms of breastfeeding. But then there's another demand. Instead of physically giving my milk, my body making milk, because that actually demands a lot of you. Physically, what's more tiring is running after Rose, getting the energy to keep up with her, because now she's a toddler. She is like, this girl has more energy than us, but I guess it's because she doesn't cook, clean, she doesn't do washing, she just lives her best life, and I love that for her. But yeah, so not as physically demanding on the breast side of things, but then on like keeping up with her, especially after nursery. Gosh, you know, in the evenings when you're just tired and you're ready to wind down, but she's not ready to wind down. She's just like go go go. So yeah. Another thing that I would say has gotten easier is just like all the poop explosions and stuff like that, because yeah, in the first days of newborn babyhood, and also I made a video about, what was my last video? I'll link it up here, I can't remember, but oh, how I found joy in motherhood again. In the beginning section of that video, I show like lots of stuff, the journey that I went through, like from bringing her out of the hospital, then to having postpartum depression, and in that you see like all the poop explosions and the constant feeding and all that stuff. Like, yeah, the poop explosions were a lot, and I'm kidding you not, you know, on the movies when you see like the baby poops and it squirts everywhere, like you feel like some stuff you just see in the movies, but that was literally our reality. Like we had to change a mat all nice and neatly on top of like the dresser, and we made, I don't know, we were just changing her, and then the poo just squirted like all over the walls. So we don't deal with that anymore. We don't deal with blowouts, poo spreading all over her clothes. Like that's not our mission or theme anymore. But then obviously when they stop drinking milk only, they go to solids, and the poops from solids stink. Yeah, they smell like adult poop, and it's not nice. Like there's one thing that I do not like about parenthood, and it's changing poo. Like I just hate the stench. It's just so bad. So I mean, yeah, we're not dealing with poop explosions anymore, but we're still dealing with changing poos. I'm ready to be out of that phase, I'm not gonna lie. And I feel like Rose is actually nearly ready for potty training, which is kind of like, oh, my baby's growing up. Because okay, that's my phone, that's Gabby. I'm gonna have to put that on silent. Hold on. Yeah, I think she's really nearly ready for potty training because she knows when she poos and she is ready to get that nappy off straight away. She knows when she's about to go, which is, yeah. So I think we're going to get a potty for the weekends. I'm excited but also nervous, like whatever, we'll just see how it goes, there's no pressure. Another thing that's gotten easier, I would say, is sleep. It's not as demanding as it was before, and in the sense that she only has one nap a day now. It's not like nap here, we have to go there, she's sleeping there. Like one nap a day, bedtime at this time, wake up at this time. She's pretty consistent on what time she wakes up. She wakes up between 6:30 and 6:45 every single day, no matter the day, which is tiring. But then, yeah, so it's more consistent, even though before when she was younger it was consistent, but there was more naps and more putting to sleep, more doing this, more doing that, whereas just one nap, get up and you go, you know that you have to entertain or make activities for this half the day, then she sleeps, then you have this, then you do that. So I think it's easier in terms of scheduling because there's less naps, less this, less whatever. However, the downside of that is that because she's not taking as much naps, there's not as much time for us to rest as parents. And yes, parents need rest, okay, because we do all the other things, so there's not as much time for us to rest. So it gets, I think the overriding message of this is that it gets easier in some things, but then other things get difficult because you have to enter a new season. As I said, there's different seasons of parenthood, so one thing you don't have to think about anymore, then another thing you have to think about. So I'd say if someone asked me this question, if they're a new parent or about to embark on parenthood, does parenthood get easier? Motherhood, parenting, fatherhood, whatever you want to call it, I would say yes in some ways, but no in not other ways. Everyone says the teenage like stage is difficult when they start, like, I don't know, wanting to go out with their friends, or I don't know, having sex or talking about alcohol and all those tricky conversations that people find awkward talking about. I think people say that stage of parenting is difficult, but we are far from there. My baby girl's not even 2 yet. Still another 12 years until she's a teenager. So yeah, to answer the question, as I said, it gets easier in some ways and into some ways it doesn't, but it is the best journey, the most sort of reaffirming, realigning, you need to fix up journey. Like, it's so joyful, tiring, it's everything in one, but it's amazing. So yeah, that's my answer to this. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more videos. Don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you like it. I've had to reposition my filming. I can't remember if I said this at the beginning of the video because the lighting is not that great today. Typical autumn winter day. It's not winter yet, autumn day. But yeah, thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.